Alright, let's break down what's been making headlines. President Trump just sent 2,000 National Guard troops to Los Angeles. If you're wondering why, what it means, and how this all got so heated, stick with me, because I'm diving into the full story. So here's the setup. On Saturday, June 7th, President Trump signed off on a presidential memorandum to deploy the National Guard. The Guard's mission? Stay in LA for up to 60 days, or less, depending on what Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth decides. The official line from the White House is that California, and especially Los Angeles, has lost control. They're pointing to escalating protests over U.S. immigration policy. Specifically, protests that got intense outside a federal building where ICE, that's Immigration and Customs Enforcement, was holding an operation. Let's get some context here. Over the past week, the Trump administration ramped up immigration enforcement in a huge way. ICE hit a new daily record with over 2,300 arrests in just one day. Most of these arrests were at businesses and targeted migrants with criminal records. But a wave of protests followed, especially in LA. Things got tense on Friday. Protesters surrounded a federal building, some reportedly throwing rocks at vehicles, and federal agents responding with riot gear. Now, Trump's team said California's leaders have completely abdicated their responsibility. That's a direct quote. Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem framed the Guard as peacekeepers, there to help law enforcement, protect federal operations, and keep the peace. But California's Governor Gavin Newsom, he's not having it. He called Trump's move purposefully inflammatory and said it'll just make things worse, not better. Newsom claims LA authorities never even asked for backup, and he's accusing Trump of trying to manufacture a crisis. This isn't coming out of nowhere either. Trump and California have been clashing for years. From immigration to climate policy, and now law enforcement. In fact, Trump and Newsom just had a 40-minute phone call about all this, with Trump apparently telling Newsom to get the police in gear. Behind the scenes, federal officials had already started sending in armored vehicles, less lethal weapons like tear gas and pepper balls, and hundreds of extra personnel to protect ICE and federal buildings in LA. But by Saturday, they felt outnumbered, and decided the National Guard was needed to fill the gap. There's also talk, though not action yet, about invoking the Insurrection Act. That's the law that lets the president send the military into U.S. cities. Trump said he doesn't think LA is in full-on insurrection territory yet, but he's keeping that option open if things get messier. Not everyone thinks this is the right move. Some law enforcement sources are calling it an overreaction, saying the actual number of violent protesters was small and that local police had things under control. So, where does this go next? Federal troops are in LA, California's leaders are pushing back, and immigration enforcement is ramping up like never before. This is one of those moments where local, state, and federal power clash, big time. I'll keep watching this story as it unfolds. If you want more breakdowns like this, hit subscribe, stay informed, stay curious, and I'll see you next time.